This is a clip from a full podcast episode that I did talking about this high-priced sales funnel. And I have no issue with Sonora, by the way. I didn't enroll. I try to answer the question the best I can in this format with the amount of information that I have. In the full episode, I actually talk about the offer and the other stuff that you get. But the thing is, like, it was super hard for me to find actual information about how much the guitar intensive costs. And it turns out it's a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. And essentially, the information that I found, it's a couple morons on Reddit. No offense if you're a Redditor, but I'm not. And you end up with some people with perhaps incomplete information, and then other people reacting to the incomplete information. And it's the internet. So I hope that you find this helpful. When I read reviews of Sonora, there were a handful of people that said, this is like a high pressure sales situation. And they told some stories, like the sales associate was going to try to get him to open a credit card. That didn't happen to me. I had a nice conversation. I hope that you do find this helpful. And I believe that the people that do enroll in Sonora, it sounds like there's a lot of them that have positive experiences from it. So take it with a grain of salt. I have no skin in the game. I don't work for them, but everyone that I interacted with was positive. I didn't feel like they were trying to trick me or anything like that. It was just not a good fit for me. I was like, how much is the intensive cost? Just tell me how much it costs and I'll tell you how interested I am. I mean, I have a reasonable budget. When I talked to my wife, I was like, hey, I think maybe I would spend up to $350 per month. It wouldn't be forever, but if I was putting in that amount of money, it's a good chunk of money, I would potentially put that much into it for a few months and see, like, am I making a lot of progress? Am I getting something out of this? So anyway, Gabe was like, it could be $3,000 to $12,000 for 6 months to a year. That's total, right? So it could be $3,000 total for 6 months. It could be, $12,000 for a year. And he said, at your level, you could probably get to where you want to be 6 months to a year. He was like, you have some technical proficiency, but like your knowledge of the guitar and musical theory, it's a little bit off, but like just watching you play, your technical skills are a little beyond where your knowledge is. And that's typical for an intermediate guitar player. So that all made sense. He was like, you're probably not going to be happy with the range that I'm telling you because it's so big. So we go back and forth, ask more questions. And I'm like, can you tell me why there's such a big range? When would I know what it's going to cost? This is crazy. Very interesting. And I give Gabe a lot of credit because he worked with me. I wasn't a jerk about it, but I was like, hey, I have this question. He gave a really good 5-minute answer, but it still didn't give me anything else. And I was like, that was good. He did a really good job. The bottom line is he said they put together a custom curriculum for you. And I'm filling in some words that maybe they should put this exactly on there. But based on what I want to learn and my current level, they would put together like, here are some of the group classes that you would need to go to. For example, you'll have your mentor. Here are the things you need to study to get where you want to be. One thing I forgot to mention is the software they have. Apparently they have software that understands what you're able to do, where you start messing up and where your knowledge goes down. The software helps you do the deliberate practice. So you're often on the edge of what you're able to do. They push you a little farther, and that way you're not waiting for like the class material to catch up. You're going through it, and it makes sense to me. Now, totally forgot to mention that earlier, but that is one of the main components of the intensive. Gabe did a good job. It's a custom package they put together depending on what you need to do in your individual curriculum. They have an idea like, okay, a dude like me, I'm in the early intermediate stage. I have a lot of gaps in my musical knowledge. They could probably push me into the normal path for someone like me, and they don't have to recreate the wheel. The point being, he said, I think eventually he was like, for you, it would probably be about $12,000 for about a year. So that does work out to about $1,000 per month. I think he said if I pay up front, if you pay the lump sum for the tuition, you get like a 10% or 15% discount. I can't quite remember, but that's pretty typical.